Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractible. This episode, the gentle gents righteously reminisce face to face as minuscule Mark misperforms magic, mentions Muttley, and his majestic mother makes an appearance. Wedded Wade resists peer pressure, is a lucky Luddite, and gets stressed by socializing. Benevolent Bob loves the makeup department and vilifies veteran vegans. From nipple mics to fine dining. Yes, it's time for The Room Where It Happened. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
We're gathered here today to commemorate us being here once more.
This is a meaningful room for us.
Is that an intro?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, okay.
Unless you want to be more formal than usual, but you're always fighting for a less formality.
That's true.
Yeah. Should we? Less formal?
Sure.
All right.
Do I have to take my shirt? What is less formal? Here.
Oh.
Rings down.
Uh-oh. Isn't that bad? That's not your wedding ring, is it?
No, this is my Aura health ring.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Bob's coming now.
It works so good.
It works so perfectly. It's exactly as I envisioned.
We just have to not talk when we do it so they can cut out the horrible...
Everyone shut up.
I think they should get the full scraping ceramic sound experience.
I think that we just got to be
Because that camera's picking it up, right? They can see the contraption we're using.
Yes, they can see.
Yes, they
what's
can see,
happening.
yeah.
There's ice in here. That's not clear. That's why this works so perfectly. You hear that?
I want you all to know they wanted a lazy Susan to turn this camera on. There is an ottoman 2 feet behind that camera on the ground that looks like it sits on wheels. That would have worked perfectly. But Mark instead got 2 plates, 4 small plates or saucers, and some ice. No. And decided that's how we should bake it. Look at that thing. Can we just use
Look at
that?
this guy talking shit with his mic aimed at his nipples.
That's where my mouth is.
It's our big sound bite.
Look at this guy.
Look at this guy talking shit with his nipple mic.
Dude, if I start lactating, you'll be the first to hear it.
What if I got rid of that one? What if we put both of them on here and then we got a reverse view?
And then what's on me, it just sees the backyard. That's the better camera. I'm just holding this now, I guess.
The editors are definitely going to use 95% that camera. And maybe this one if there's a moment that's worth using.
Where the person talking is actually on it.
Yeah, whatever.
When I hold this, I think of the scene in Star Wars whenever he's like, 3PO, shut down all the detention levels.
Shut
He's like
down
holding
the
the
trash
little thing.
compactors on the detention levels.
Luke, are you okay?
This is too informal. Why is there one bean sprout on the... This is a travesty.
This is your episode. You're the host.
It's getting a little off center here. I'm feeling bad about the ice situation.
Yeah, if only that could have been foreseen as being a terrible idea.
I'm just going to say this. The Ottoman is not a better solution. I get that you're throwing that out there.
Then this?
Yeah.
How would the Ottoman be a
In no
better
way
solution?
is the
to this?
Ottoman better than what we have. I'm not saying this is good. I'm saying they're both bad
It
solutions.
spins. It has wheels. It looks like it has
Yes.
wheels. You could just turn
Wheels
it.
roll notoriously smoothly on a smooth surface with a
You could take this
thick
off.
blanket up.
Let's do it. Take that off.
Get your
Take
Ottoman.
this
No,
off.
I did.
Get the
At
Ottoman.
this point,
Get
I
the
like our
Ottoman.
system.
Get the Ottoman. Get the Ottoman.
I'm not getting
Get
up.
the Ottoman.
This is the episode, because I'm not
Get
getting
the
up.
Ottoman.
I stood up once, hit the power button. I'm not doing it again. I
Ottoman.
won't.
Get the Ottoman.
Are you actually going to not get up and walk 4 feet?
Oh, 100% I'm not petty.
It's your idea.
I know. This is not my episode. This is Mark's
Your
episode.
idea is bad by default.
It's Mark's episode. He wanted the ice plates. He gets the...
Hold your drinks.
Jesus.
Hold them.
Look, there's ceramics.
Yay!
Fingers. Oh, drink.
How has this turned into such a disaster? We have a spill.
It's your idea. Hold on.
None of that was my idea.
You said take the tablecloth off. You said that.
Since when are you as dumb as me with following directions?
That was the idea. That was the idea. There were no directions.
Also, I don't know for sure if the Ottoman has wheels. I just asked if it did.
You said it looks like
It does look. Do you see something that looks wheel-like underneath? It looks wheel-like.
An Ottoman, Wade. Ottomans have legs.
Then, therefore, it probably does have wheels.
Here we go. This was his idea.
What in the hell?
This was your
Oh
idea.
my God! It
This
was
your
not.
idea.
This is not the idea.
This was your idea. Welcome to your idea, and then you spin it when you want to go to the next person.
Uh-huh. Oh, God. Okay, good.
So now that we're here,
It's gonna make you look like you're 2 feet tall.
It's not. My face is barely in it.
my head's in it. Hi. All right, and then it turns to Wade.
Okay.
All
Hey
right,
man, how's it going?
the audio people are going to be real mad. I gotta admit.
This is a very visual gag. It's true.
Yes, this is incredibly visual.
Okay, you guys literally had 2 plates with melting ice and some sausage. Like, this is a Lazy Susan.
It is technically it's a lazy Susan because it's 2 things with something that reduces friction between them, so the top one can rotate.
I do want to add my first suggestion was to find some like balls or something to put on the plate instead of ice.
I'm sorry, how many balls you got?
You suggested that after we had set the whole thing up.
You were in the kitchen working. I didn't know what you were doing.
You were like, man, if you had some bouncy balls, that'd be great. After we were already like turning it on the table.
Man, how hard is it to get rid of 6 pieces of ice?
It's like 8 pieces of ice minimum.
Why would we get rid of it?
To put balls!
How many balls do you have?
Give us your bouncy balls that you have.
I'm sorry, I forgot to bring those over.
Then why are you even suggesting it?
I thought maybe you had some. This is a house.
The average house. How many bouncy balls are in the average
Yeah,
household?
There were once children in this house. Maybe they had bouncy balls that are preserved somewhere because they.
That's not my camera sitting on that thing.
There were never children in this house.
We just killed a dog. How you doing, Chico?
I think it's okay. I think it landed in a way that's totally fine.
Oh, the camera also fell.
Yeah, though.
It's fine. The I will say the wide angle flew off.
Oh.
Oh.
Hi, Mom.
You just walked in at a very opportune moment.
Yeah, Mark's done a great job of taking great care of your house.
Hi, Mom. I pulled the chicken for you. All right.
Chica.
Did you like that?
You like this episode, Chica?
What are you doing? What are you guys doing?
What are you doing? Nothing. Nothing.
Okay, time to something.
Okay, sounds
How to
good.
make dumpling. That sounds good. We definitely worked up an appetite watching this travesty.
And that's the episode. All done. Bye.
We haven't been in this room for a very long time. For those listening, this would have been before audio was a thing.
All silent up to that point. It's like going to the movies in the 20s.
Yeah, videos. They call them lookies.
We did grow up too. This table used to seem so big when we were little. That is, hey.
Okay, that'll do that.
I guess some chin folds in here. How are you?
You look like, who's that guy who lives in Vegas? You look like Hard Rock Nick from that angle.
Oh, I'm not holding my microphone.
You need to lean in down closer to it. Perfect.
Hey.
So, in today's episode, we are going to talk about, I don't know, whatever you guys want to talk about.
I thought we were gonna like reminisce about this.
You want to
room.
reminisce?
We didn't really explain why we were in this room before last.
Yeah, so
That's just up your nose, Cam.
Good. No, keep going.
in this room basically was where we first started doing charity live streams together and some like group recording sessions. If you've been following this channel and this podcast, it's not this channel, this podcast and my channel for quite a long time, you'll know that we have been doing content for way too long. And the time has come for us to announce our retirement.
That sucks.
We've come a long way, and we think it's better to end on a high note before the inevitable crash and burn that is coming.
Jason Kelsey, Matt Pat, us.
I don't think I ever hit a high note.
All going down the same road.
We're like a chord, you know, one's on top, one's comfortably in the middle, one's carrying the low end.
But you look at me, I have a very high voice. I'm definitely not the bottom of this ensemble.
They call it the root note.
The bottom note is not always the root just because it's the lowest. You can have inversions of chords.
What about the root canal?
It's actually blocked by the Ever Given right now, so.
Oh, that sucks.
Ma! How long until food?
10 minutes.
Okay, so
I don't believe you!
stretch this out for 10 more minutes.
This is gonna be the weirdest episode ever.
Just
Well, because we're gonna eat. We're gonna eat on here.
Yeah, we're gonna eat on here.
We're gonna like.
Just like old times.
Okay.
People love it when we eat on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Have we done that?
I've done it.
Did you remember all those episodes where Mark was like, lenses, eating almonds, and salami and cheese?
I gotta shout out my boy.
I'm right here.
Tugum 4470. You know who you are. Actually, when I said that, I guarantee you there's at least 1 or 2 people that went like, Tugum 4470! Ah! He's my man. My latest hobby. Have I told you guys about it?
Yes.
Render farm.
Oh, yeah.
Render farm? Render farm?
My main man, Tug'em 4470. You're the real. You're the real. You get me the best discounts on possibly good server hardware.
I'm sure they're all.
I haven't even gotten it yet. I'm sure it's great.
Where are they coming from?
Shenzhen, China.
Well, isn't that where all electronics come from?
I feel like that's going into possibly prejudiced territory, but keep going.
Honestly, there's just like the manufacturing in Shenzhen is like every piece of technology.
Where
kind
was
of
the
comes
place where the glycine factory was?
from medical grade glycine?
Medical grade glycine. Did you hear about this?
Of course not. It's me.
On TikTok, there was a huge trend where there was this nonstop talk about medical grade glycine, and there was this one.
What is
TikTok
glycine?
I don't know.
I don't know, and I don't know what it's for.
Okay.
I just know that medical grade glycine was very important.
It would be so great if we had a third angle.
We could have if I brought my camera.
Can you go get that?
And be back in time before
think-
Bob will
I
have to be gone?
Take
No.
one of these cameras and take your microphone and document your journey while Mark and I do this episode here.
Just drive home while holding a camera and a microphone?
Yeah. Or stick it in a cup holder.
There's like an A plot, B plot to the podcast. That's actually not a bad idea. That's so funny. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Or one of us could stay and two of us could go so I don't have to hold the camera.
No,
It's awkward for the one who stays, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. I would hate to be the one that has the awkward
It's not
part.
like you drive a stick shift. How many hands you need to drive?
Sometimes two. 10 and 2. Remember my
put your
classic
phone. Your
one?
phone. We have phones. We have amazing recording. Oh no, he's dumb. Oh no, he's dumb.
Of course I'm dumb.
No, put your phone up there. No, on its side. Recording with the lenses. No, facing me and Bob.
Oof. Mark, we can't touch it, but we have to get him to do what you want. This is the current challenge. Wade, what Mark would like is for your phone to be the third camera angle in this situation. He would like for you to lean it up against either maybe this giant bottle of water or those very lightweight salt and pepper containers and set it up so that it films using the good cameras. Maybe so the cameras are not on the table. Maybe flip it a little.
Is that good?
No, vertical, not vertical.
No, like so the cameras aren't on the bottom. edge
Right,
of the
that's
phone.
a good idea. Yeah.
Just so
yeah.
the perspective is as good as it can be.
All right, you've given him all the instructions you can. Let's see where he goes.
All right, execute.
Are we in there?
Oop, what is that? What's that?
What is that for?
What is that for?
I'm holding the phone from slipping.
Wasn't slipping at all anyway.
I know, but I gotta tilt it more.
Oh, okay, I see. He's got it. He's thinking.
Okay, you know what?
All right, you're both in there, but barely. So don't lean to your left. Don't lean to your right.
You have there's an ultra wide angle in that.
All right, so
I don't
go on.
Welcome to Distractible. I am your host. Thank you so much for joining us. And
We're 20 minutes in. Why are you doing the intro?
I'm having a great day today, and so are my boys, Bob and Wade here.
Hey,
We are going to be talking about a wonderful topic, getting older. We haven't been in this room together for about 9 years. 9?
Is that true?
probably. It probably
Somehow
is.
That doesn't sound like long enough, but also that's a long time.
Yeah, probably about
9 or 10.
9 years.
It's at least
Would
9,
have been
probably.
20. I moved away in 2013.
I visited here one time since then when Mark was here, but the three of us have not been here together in that long. I'm also really
Sorry,
thirsty,
text.
and now my water bottle is part of this contraption.
Don't.
Oh, God, don't. You monster. But I could trade it out for these
Use those
dishes.
very low profile but equally supportive dishes.
No,
Definitely use just the clear water bottle to do the.
no. The salt and pepper really adding that aesthetic.
Okay.
All right, we're good. Go out. Do your episode.
So, I want everyone to understand that editors take the wide angle and then bulge it in the center and like contract, use barrel distortion to make it seem like we're all the same height. Whatever you do, don't use the opposite of barrel distortion to make it look like even more exaggerated that it's tiny in the center.
Ah, you mean spoon distortion. Everyone knows the opposite of a barrel's a spoon.
It's the smallest container, just as a barrel is the largest container.
There's a really infamous picture, not infamous, there's a good picture of us right before I moved to LA. Yeah, where we're right there with our charity shirts.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that people saw me compared to you guys. The natural assumption was that I am minusculely tiny and not that you both are giant humans.
You are kind of minusculely tiny.
I'm not.
We're average height.
No.
Yeah, Wade and I are barely average at best. I'm 5'8".
Yes. But that was the last time. No, that wasn't the last time we were here. I feel like when I came and visited, and we did another thing here after I moved to LA. I just can't remember what it was.
We also did a couple things at your apartment.
Or Christmas one where we were hitting each other with bats or something.
We weren't there for Slapsgiving, were you? I thought it was just Mark and I.
I left before any of the actual slaps started.
That was way before I moved. That was before.
Okay.
Well, you also had an apartment here for a while that I at least went to. I don't know if the three of us did.
We recorded that Rust series that many people seem to enjoy back in the day. Was in that apartment that you lived in? Yeah,
That's true.
But that wasn't the three of us together. That was just you two. And then we did a stream there.
We did do the three of us did a charity stream there one time because I remember you had like a white couch.
Yeah,
I think we spelled something very red on the white couch at some point.
I don't remember that.
Maybe I was just afraid we were going to do.
I remember you used to do fan mail, and at your apartment we did a fan mail opening, and you pulled out like a taxidermied animal.
Yeah,
And the person who sent it was very offended that we were kind of like caught off guard.
I was way more afraid of that than I should have been. Like, because it was just the pelt.
Well, when you're not expecting it, a surprise possum or whatever it was is kind of like you're like, oh, look at this drawing, look at this like clay thing they made, look at this possum. Like it is kind of different.
Yeah, that got out of hand super fast.
Yeah.
The idea of doing like unboxings on camera and like especially doing it on a live stream. Like now looking back, I would never in a million years do an unboxing live on stream
without knowing exactly what's happening.
It's insane to even think about doing that nowadays. But back then I was so stupid and it was so new. Like why would I ever think that anything wrong could happen with that? Not that anything bad actually happened. That's not what it's about.
It's just an incredible potential for you to pull out something horrific or, violating TMS.
Yes.
Unbeknownst to your own self.
Yes. Although I feel like if someone sent like just a giant dildo, unless they're packaging it in a way that it doesn't look like it's going to be a giant dildo.
If you get enough, it'll be so wide that it'll be confusing that it's so wide and so tall.
Or if someone like there's a sex doll and it's like someone packaged it and it just looks like, but it's a disguise. It's actually like a GameCube, but
you open up the sex doll, there's a dildo inside.
No, they got me. Yeah, that'd be great. Anyway, but that was back in the day, and now we're older. Hey, Mom.
Yeah.
Are we old?
Do I look old to you? Am I old?
No.
Mark, she is asking if she looks old to you.
No, you don't look old to me.
Then you guys are not old compared to me.
That's true.
She said, then we're not old compared to her.
So you hear that? We're not old, right,
I
guys?
don't know if the microphones are picking her up.
No, they're not.
The phone might be getting good room sound.
They might.
Is that rolling? It might be.
God, I hope so.
I think I hit record.
How long have you been doing this, man? It still stuns me because it's not actually a bit. People think that his technological ineptitude is a bit. It's actually not.
Really not.
Yeah.
It's completely earnest too.
Okay.
You don't do it on purpose. You just don't give a shit.
I have one way of doing things, and if that way breaks, I don't know what I'm doing. So my camcorder, I know where the power button is. I know where the record button is. Someone's like, you guys at one point, you're like, hey, for Riverside, we need to change the frames. And I was like, oh no, change the frames? You mean those settings? How do I get to those?
But that's such a fascinating way of living because I really want to know how things work, especially how I use them. I have a natural curiosity for how something works. You have that too.
Mine is more from a place of like, there's too much catastrophe in what we do. There have been so many times where I sat down at my computer and was like, let me turn on this computer and camera and microphone that I've used hundreds of times up to this point, and then I turn it on and it's like, oh, the camera doesn't work, and that's the microphone settings are changing. It's like, well, I have to know how to do all this because things like Windows just break shit for no reason.
This is when having 30 different people in my friend group comes in handy, because I just reach out to each one of them individually till one's free to help me solve it.
But you don't have any itch of like, well, I wish I could be more self-sufficient, so I should maybe learn how to just do these things so I know this for myself. Because I'm bad at remembering. I don't remember. I learn something about a camera or a system, and if I don't use it enough, I forget it. And so it'll happen again, a year later, the same thing will happen, and I'm like, I saw this before. I know this. I have to look at
Dude, my last car, I had to look up tutorials like 2 years in to figure out how to change the time.
Okay, well, I wouldn't know how to do that either.
Some of them are really easy. They got like a time button, and you just like boop, and then boop, boop, boop. It's easy. My car, nothing was labeled time.
It's because it had a digital screen.
Okay, I can kind of get where he's coming
I'm not
from.
going to judge you for that. I do think that that's weird, given that you're in a very technological profession. But that's just like who you are. That's okay.
Yeah.
I was at my peak of like comfort level whenever I was working as a clerk, and I was down in like the basement where they didn't have technology yet, and I was just going through the boxes and moving them alphabetically.
But then you could be at the movie theater. You could work at the box. You could unpack the popcorn.
They still have paper tickets. Food is very tactile.
I'm gonna give up the podcast, YouTube, and Twitch to unbox popcorn.
Still do it.
Dude, you have time to do both of those.
Why do I
things.
want to become a popcorn unboxer?
Because you just sounded like you were the most content in your life. That's what you said.
I didn't say content. I said I understood
You said
things.
at home.
You were the
I
most
liked
at
it,
home.
but it made sense.
You could live
was
at
simple.
the movie theater.
It was simple,
You
like
could
me.
live. You could sleep in the projection booth. You could watch everyone.
I don't like people watching. People are weird. Like every now and then I'll be like, "Huh, look at those guys. They're weird." But like then I'm bored.
What if you watch people making out in the back row?
Then I'm creepy.
Exactly. That was a test. You would never go into my movie theater if that was the
Like,
case.
look at those teens making out. That's weird.
I'm weird. I'm weird.
What were we talking about?
Technology, camera.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So with
We're old.
let's say, for example, this movie, right? One of the things is VFX. VFX are a complicated mystery.
Visual sound effects is that what it stands for?
He's making
He's so proud of himself for that one. He realized that found rhymes with sound, and sound effects is also a thing.
Oh my god. He has so much joy in your just eyes.
I don't ever make anyone laugh as much as I make my laugh. I have always contested
What's
that.
that old cartoon character that like the dog? That was
Isn't
exactly
that
who
like
you were.
the bad guy's dog?
Yeah.
That's what they do, right?
Yeah. That was amazing. I wish I could bring myself as much joy as you do.
Dude, I entertain myself a lot.
All right, so visual sound effects, which is what they are.
Sure.
Still funny.
So there's certain things that you can do, and CG is like computer graphics. A lot of it comes down to rendering, but there's a whole world of like art there that I know I'll never fully get. I won't be an expert at it, but at least the technology side is like, okay, for the sake of rendering, I can render, and I can figure out how to do that. I can build a render farm, right? I know how to build a computer because I've done it before. I've done it for you. I look into it like a server can't be that different. And so this is where my brain goes. It goes from one to the other. I have a basis of knowledge. This is a problem that I'm facing. I think I can figure out, puzzle a way to a solution using my knowledge. You never have any like desire to do that?
My knowledge is to socially outreach and find someone else who can solve my problem.
See, but I do that too. I rely a lot on the expertise of other people because, like, I know Mark knows a lot of shit about cameras and sound stuff that I haven't learned yet. Mm-hmm. But I do that in an effort to, like, broaden what I know at least a little bit.
I think I've also given up. So I've gone through and I've done settings on the XLR. I don't know how many times now because I've gotten different. I had to switch out XLRs. I've gotten like 2 or 3 computers since I got the first XLR, and I've gone through steps. People like figure out how to set it up, how to get it sounding right, this and that. But like then I don't do it for a year and a half. All the knowledge is gone. I don't remember anything.
Nothing?
I don't remember how to find the button to like the mic. Right now it's in my head because I just did it recently. But clicking the mic button to find the gain. People are like, "Wait, you're quiet," and I was like, "I have no idea how to fix that."
Really?
Yeah.
You dead serious?
Yeah.
Dead ass?
Dead ass. I had to have someone tell me where to go on the XLR to find the gain.
Is your memory good?
No, it's terrible. It is
Really?
actually terrible, like scarily terrible. If there's one thing I question about my health, it's not the physical health, it's my memory. It is just non-existent.
Huh.
Things go in one ear and I'm like, okay, I really need to remember this. 5 minutes later, I will have no idea what it was.
That's kind of cool. Not cool. That's
But like, it's just like, why would I learn technology whenever it's like, I figure out how to do this thing on my camera, then I don't mess with it for 2 years, and someone's like, hey, can you do that? And I'm like, nope, no clue. Walk me through it, I guess. Huh. So why would I? At this point, my body's just like, why bother trying to learn that? You're just gonna forget it.
I guess I relate to that. Like, I feel that very much, especially about, for me, it was always school stuff, right? Like, I really struggle with learning.
I was good back then. I don't
struggle
get
with
it.
lectures, but what I do is I sit through the lecture and I do my best. But then I have to go home and it's like I go over my notes. I go over is there a thing for you that like makes it stick any better?
Probably
Like,
if
you
I took
studied or
notes,
something?
if I wrote stuff down while I was going, because I was a person who never had to study, but if I wrote something down, it helped me retain it. Because like school came so naturally to me, and I didn't have to like.
I mean, clearly you're making it work, but you can do that in normal life too, right?
I could.
Do
That's
that.
why the points.
Oh, man, we're all in so much constitutional trouble right now.
I don't know about you guys, but I haven't had to host one, so it's not up to me.
Oh God.
The car kept track of the points. I was typing it in as we go.
It's almost like the Constitution's bullshit.
But anyway, my point is, I do still use those strategies that I know where it's like, if I really need to know something, I physically write it down somewhere and I go over that, or I put, like, I'm not saying you have to do that, but do you ever do that for stuff that's actually really important?
The most I do now is I'll put things in my calendar on my phone. That is the step I've taken because I got so many like different streaming collabs that people invite me to do things that I'm just like, I triple booked myself one day and had no idea I did it until the day of. And then I went live and I got a text like, hey, you ready to join for that thing? And I was like, and then another person was like, hey, where you at? And I was like, I felt so horrible that I was like, I'm going to start using the calendar to remind myself of when I've got things because like I can't do that to people again.
You can't do that to people again? You miss one session and you're like, I can't betray them ever again like that.
No, like socially, like my social obligations are where all of my like stress and stuff go. It's like I want
I've done
to
it more than once, but do you guys remember the last time I didn't show up to a recording and you were like calling me and then calling like
Rin, I think, yeah.
And you were like, and I showed up like 2 hour or 2 hours late or something.
Yeah.
That lives in my head constantly. I feel awful about that.
Really?
Well, Mark's done it a couple
'cause we
times.
planned, and like I show up late, which I do feel guilty about, but not in the same way of where it's like I just straight up didn't write that down or remember that we had that scheduled, and you guys are just sitting there like, I'll be here. He's always late.
See, that kind of stuff I'm a lot better about because I put it in my phone or else I just like, I either will remember those things or I'll put them in my phone as like a
Are you
calendar
saying
thing.
You don't feel any guilt about
I
that?
feel some guilt, but
Because you're
because
busy.
I
You
do
are
it,
busy.
I do it a lot though. And I feel bad because you guys will send me like one text, and then I think you're just like, you must have got slipped up with something. And then
No,
I'll
we'll sit
text,
there for like an hour and a half.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, now I feel bad.
No, there's definitely been days where Bob and I've sat there for like an hour and a half and we're like, well, I guess we'll just chat.
Just in case, because we know, especially with the movie,
Yeah.
it was like Mark has 4 free hours this week, and this stretch is like 3 of them. So even if he is going to show up late, it's like we should make sure we can, record. We have to record this show. We want to make.
I can't wait for how open my schedule is about to be. I am so excited. People have no idea. People have no idea what it was like out there actually watching. Like it was a shock that I kept up with the podcast as much as it was. Like that was the one thing that like kept up with everything.
With how hard it was to like get you free time, yeah, I can imagine.
It was nuts. And I keep thinking like, man, it didn't have to be this way, which is why I pursue these problem solves. That's why I'm not building a render farm out of like, let's build it.
It's a spite.
It is. It's spite. It's because every single problem that I've run into that has taken my time, I never want to run into that problem again. That's why I pursue so many things and try to learn things.
That's fair.
I feel this unbearable itch that's like, it didn't have to be that way. I want it to never be that way again. So all the hard drive stuff, that's because I never wanted to deal with the problems again. The lens stuff is like, I never wanted to deal with that problem again. The render farm, I never want to deal with that problem again. I never want to be caught with my pants down so that it compromises all of my social status obligations, my social obligations, my like friendships, the people that I want to spend time with. I wasn't home.
I can't imagine what it was like for you. I know I can't speak for Bob either, I suppose, but for me at least, like there were days where you were like, can't make it today, let's do Thursday. And I was like, man, that 6-month dermatologist appointment was Thursday, but I know it's the only day Mark has, so guess that's getting moved. Like there was a graduation I had to miss for a family. Like there were some compromise where I was like, man, we gotta get an episode done. Mark's only got one day.
In the hospital, in the delivery room. Mark was like, oh, can we do that right now real quick? I was like, Mandy, hold it in. I mean him.
Hold it.
I just mean like I know Mark wouldn't just do that, so I know it was his schedule, but like we all had to we all kind of felt it a little bit, so I can't imagine how severe it was for you if it like pushed up on us like that. Not that much, but that much,
There was times when I was like, man, I just haven't been home. Like I miss pets passing away here, and like my grandma passed away, but I was able to go for that.
That was crazy though.
That was
a nuts week.
You were in Texas, and then the next day you were in Korea.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later we were like recording, and you were back in LA or something. Like
it was.
That whole stretch must have been unreal for you with like flying and all of the stuff happening.
And then I got my ear infection while I was over there, and I had to go to.
We'll start with the eyes too, because you were in the hospital for your eyes right before that too.
Yeah, that was right before that because I got shingles.
Yeah, that's the shingles too.
The shingles. just like, man.
You had the blood eyes, the shingles, and then the ear.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was the shingles, and then the shingles was also spread to my eye, but it caught it early, and then I got blood in my eye, and then actually it wasn't even the blood. Like, I can't even talk about why. People think it was like, oh, he got some fake blood in his eye. That's not it. That's not it. But I can't talk about why, because the thing's not out yet. Like, there's so many layers of.
I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, it is, but you're right, it's not.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. Everyone,
No, you're misremembering.
yeah, because that's the joke that everyone's making. Like, oh, he got some fake blood in his eyes. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You have no idea what went on in that time, but I can't talk about it. So once it's out, there's going to be so many stories that I'll be able to actually talk about. But all of it spills down to like this constant cavalcade of like, I won't let this problem happen again. I had problem after problem. And that's the thing about the movie making process, is that it is a series of problems that you need to solve. Life and what you're doing. Like, even this is a comical way of problem solving. This camera right here is a comical problem solving. If you can make it in a funny way because you know you can fix it, like that's a good way to do it. But with movies, the stakes are so high that the problems are so profoundly big that you have to have huge paradigm shifts to be able to solve them. And if you can't solve them, then that's how bad movies get made. That's how shit gets put out there. And that's why all the systems are in place that all the companies do it, is because they're used to this expressly strict pipeline.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I've only ever seen your sets, so I don't have any real context for it. But, like, even in the way that you do stuff, which is, I think, probably a lot more flexible than how, like, a normal TV show is run or movie. It still is like, we're on set today, here's the schedule. Maybe the schedule moved around a little bit to accommodate something, but most of this was decided 6 months ago. Was like, these people will be here, this person who can only be here this day, and we need to shoot this. This person needs to build this thing, which needs to be in this location. Like, there's all this shit where it's like, you can't, it's not like you have buddies and a camera and you're making a YouTube video where you're like, we'll come back tomorrow. And it's like,
well, you were mostly,
this entire set we need to make this shot work gets destroyed into splinters tomorrow. So we better get this right now.
That is legitimately true.
That sort of stuff. You can't just like, we'll do it another time. Like, it doesn't, not that flexible.
Yeah.
I have to imagine it's way worse.
I didn't have
bigger production with, you worked with what, hundreds of people? Maybe?
There was about 50 to 70 people on set any given day.
Yeah.
And then, the post-production side is still huge with VFX house.
Is that for the movie you're talking to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And so other productions where you have, big camera teams you have people around the world, you have thousands of people touching them.
Yeah, like this,
depending on what's happening.
the scale of, say, Game of Thrones with its multiple camera crews in different parts around the world, like movies are complex things, organized chaos. Even with what I'm talking about with the render farm is a visual effects thing. Even now, you have, let's say there's a shot that needs a physical simulation, something like happening.
Some water sloshing type deal.
Exactly. You need fluid simulations. To bake it takes, on even good hardware, can take days. And then you look at the result and you go like, oh, we fucked up. Do it again!
No.
Days later, you'll be done. Those are the kind of problems that will destroy a timeline, and have, and did. File transfers of the 90 terabyte range take up to a day to transfer, sometimes 2 days.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I've had so many transfers that were 20 gigs or something, where halfway in it dies, and it's like, okay, I gotta restart that.
Yeah.
A thing that takes 18 hours, 24 hours to actually finish. The odds of that going wrong are so bad.
So high, actually.
So tough.
Yes.
So my experience filming, I would say In Space was probably the one I can say that I was most involved in. Because for Heist, we just had like the security guard role, and then we did like one other bit.
Only there for like one 10-hour day, and we mostly screwed around in the one air-conditioned room waiting for everything.
Man, and I can't believe all of Heist was filmed in 14 days. Can you believe that?
That is crazy.
That is
all
nuts.
of Heist.
I guess it doesn't feel to me. It feels more intriguing. 'Cause I think of all the different endings, but I guess In Space is just a different orientation of the same idea. But In Space, for me, WUG wasn't filmed every day while we were there. It's like we had to wait for specific sets. So I did I don't know what to call it, the hair universe or the whatever universe. And then we did like some WUG with like one set. And then it was kind of like we did different locations. It was the place where we did like the boiler room. And then there was like the government building, whatever that was, that we did some filming in. Yeah. So like there were days I had nothing to do. And then we had to go back to the studio where I think you did most of your filming of the ship.
Mine was all on set.
Yeah.
It was super consistent. It was some, like a couple kind of long days, but it was mostly super chill.
Most of mine was there, but it was all in one day. We had like a 10-hour WUG day where I just wore the suit all day to do WUG ship.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I felt very important because like there were so many people just like assigned to keep me cool and alive.
And you know why that was? Because there were problems before of keeping people cool. And I was like, we cannot have this again. So it's like trying to get pipelines in to solve problems, but you only get them from experiencing them.
I get it. I mean, I wish I was a problem solver type. Like I used to be more hands-on. I installed like, you know, ceiling fans, kitchen faucets. I've repaired cars and stuff in the past, but like I've kind of lost all that. Now it's like, oh, I don't have to be the one to do it. And I think
it's good for you.
Well, I think that if we're going to get real psychological, I don't want to bring the mood down too much, but my family has so many problems that I have to solve that whenever I get away from having to solve problems in like my personal life, I don't want any more. I'm good. It's like people that want to play video games like Elden Ring or Dark Souls, like, man, I love the challenge. And I was like, dude, give me Diablo where I'm crushing everything without having to blink, because like I don't need a challenge. Life's thrown enough at me. I just want easy street. Turn on invincibility mode. I will have so much fun. I could play for hours being invincible. I don't need a challenge at all. Do not need it. Do not want it.
This is non sequitur, but one of my favorite experiences of all time is still the NSP music video bit that we filmed in space.
Right, yeah.
Holy fucking shit. That was so fun.
Crazy.
And the outcome, the finished product in that is so good.
It really is. I can't imagine you guys going out for what, like 2 minutes to film and then hours of costume change. And
Oh,
then
the costumes, well, that was part of the thing. The costumes were super fast.
Were they?
The
That's good.
The makeup and costume people were ready for that. They had like planned that. And as we were doing that, we were like, some people would roll it and change. The people who were ready would roll out and do some stuff. They were like ready. The most extravagant one was the metal one, because there was a bunch of makeup. That was still like maybe 20 minutes turnaround of like,
I guess
put all these on real quick, let's
Yeah.
slap some makeup on it, keep it simple but make it look, and specifically the falling through space bits where we all just lay on the box and like,
Oh man, it's so fun.
I don't think Wug ever did that, but I don't know if I could have laid down as Wug. Wug took a little while to get into.
big giant double bass. You just gotta
The aliens. I'm thinking of the makeup day where we had like the aliens and the agency, the USA, and like Ethan and everyone that was doing the alien makeup. That took a long time to get their makeup on. So that's what I was referencing.
Still
thinking of.
great. Like I love space so much, and I'm so glad because, like when space came out, people loved it, but there were some people like, oh, I miss the random fun of heist, and I get that. It's totally fine. That's not what space was, and it wasn't meant to be. But space was so complex; it was supposed to be more complex. The ending of part one was supposed to have multiple encounters with the old man, each to the universe that it was part of. It was supposed to be a noir encounter with the old man. There was supposed to be a horror encounter with the old man, with blood spattered all over the wall.
A hair encounter?
No, that was in part two.
Oh.
So there was supposed to be, when you do the divvying pass in part one, it was supposed to get to it. The theme was that it's inevitable, but it was supposed to have some variety to it, but there just wasn't enough time to do it. There wasn't enough time to reset that place and get it in with all the other things that I wanted to get in
It
there.
was surprisingly tough to do the different universes. We did a lot of that where it was like the whole crew. We did several like hallway walks where we had to do each universe in the hallway and the whole crew, and it was like you kind of are doing the same thing, but you have to do it in this universe, and there's different.
Yeah.
And Danny, do you remember the day did that pratfall?
Yeah.
And he did it like 15 or 20 times.
Like a lot of times, because going through the hallway was
to just eat shit.
Oh no, Captain! And he started getting a headache, and I felt so bad. I was like, "You got one more in you, buddy." It's just like, but what I love about it is like longevity-wise. There's a reason why people go back to space, and even back to this day, they go like, holy shit, space is amazing, because they actually come back to it later. And as a story, it's a much more complete story than Heist was. Heist had a lot more endings, of course. Technically speaking, there's only one ending in space, but its cyclical nature leads to it being a longer term adventure. And there's people that are still nowadays discovering all those little videos. I had forgotten about the NSP part.
Oh, really?
I literally had forgotten about it.
I know we did that in basically less than one full day of shooting, mostly.
6 hours.
Yeah.
One half day.
Yeah.
It was
That
crazy.
so, even when we were doing it, I was like, this is going to look so fucking
And it's
funny.
so good. It's so, oh my God, the captain is down.
Did we do the light thing for that, where the
Yes.
lights swung down the hallway?
Yes.
That looked ridiculous.
It's so good. It's
Yeah.
so, and some people haven't even seen that because
If you haven't seen it, find it.
I watched
so
every
deep.
reaction video I could find of In Space, and so many people get to the point in part one where they can decide whether or not to, I forget what the decision is, but ultimately they end up in noir, and they're all so confused.
Yeah.
They're like, I guess we're wearing hats now.
This is the hat universe. Damn.
There were some people that didn't even realize in the beginning of it that when you die, you're supposed to keep going forward. Some people would reset and go back to the beginning instead of playing forward because they didn't realize it was changing. It was that subtle in some branches. They weren't realizing, and so they were like, "Oh, no, I'm lost." But the whole thing about space is to be lost. That is kind of the theme.
Yeah.
Is that you're lost in infinity, and you like there are people that give up, and that's part of the whole scheme. That's what I intended. Is like people get lost and give up and come back later and jump in a random place because it's a never-ending infinite cycle. I can't believe I lost the Emmy to that stupid VR game.
We lost it, comrade.
It's probably good. I don't know.
It beat you.
I don't want to. Yeah, it won an Emmy, so
I mean, it beat us, comrade.
What a bit. I hope that never goes away.
Hey, Ma, where's the food? Oh, well, we're here. It's supposed to be the eating episode.
Oh, we could get you deliver?
Momiplier's kitchen is at the table.
So, have you ever had kimchi?
I've never had like legit kimchi. I've had like at the Korean barbecue kimchi is probably the best stuff I've had.
Do you have a lazy Susan?
Yes, right here. Right here. Small one. Come on.
Maybe it was supposed to have like another layer of ball bearings or something. That I'm really, yeah. Oh my God.
Have you had a chicken dumpling?
I have before. Yeah, it's been a long time. 10 years.
I've had Mark's.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I had yours.
Yeah,
Which is
once.
just her recipe.
I mean, it's been 10 years since I've had them. I can't remember which one you made them. Maybe you made them in LA once.
Yeah, I probably have.
Thank you.
It's basically just chicken and soup. So,
I was expecting you to just eat out of.
all right. Could you? Actually, no. I'll put it right here. Oh, yeah.
Sure.
You want mostly broth, chicken?
Whatever you give me, I will.
I'm gonna get soy sauce too.
If you don't like it, my mom will hate you forever.
I love it.
How deep are we into this? Are we wrapping up to like actually indeed, or are we eating the whole thing on? Because I'm holding a microphone. More enjoyable when I'm not.
You know, you put it on your
But I'm afraid
shirt.
I'm gonna drip. I don't want to drip on it. I'm a drippy eater sometimes.
It's under your chin. I don't think you'll have to worry about it.
Okay, the moment of
Attach it to your fork.
Hey.
moment of the truth.
Yeah, there's a big pot blocking the thing. That's okay.
Oh, move the pot
Okay, all
to
right.
here.
I'll just put it on the stove.
No, put it right here, honey.
Oh,
Put it right here.
but it'll. All right, you're right.
Is it blocking that shot?
Yes.
No, that's good.
That's good. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers.
Hi to Momiplier's chicken dumpling. Wait, I like your expression.
When I like food, I like food. I got a tear in my eye. I was so hungry. I'm not eating yet today. This is my first meal.
Really? Oh no.
We were sitting here. I was like, man, that food. I hope we could eat some. I'm so hungry.
Bob is really liking it, I think.
It's very hot, and I keep burning my mouth, but I don't care.
Okay.
I mean, I'll eat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, 10 points to you.
Thank you.
You don't have to try the kimchi if you don't want.
No,
I
the
don't.
fishy is good. That's so much more like.
I'll try.
Usually kimchi just kind of tastes like gochujang paste.
Kimchi is like it's a very strong taste, and that's something that Koreans like is like powerful flavors.
They're strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
But you don't have to eat all of it. It's
Did your
totally
mom
fine.
make this kimchi? Or is
No,
Okay.
Ma, what brand kimchi is this? Is it Icheonyeon? Oh
No,
no.
no, this is the
Gangnam.
Spicy.
You like it?
It's good.
But anyway, so everyone listening to Distractible, we're just like back at my mom's house. This is where we all started pretty much. So if you enjoy the videos that we make together in the podcast, you know, this is where it all began.
After the contentious episode in which Bob and I both got canceled, depending on what time you looked at the subreddit, we decided to bring it back down to earth and start from scratch.
You
We
want?
used to always be nice to each other here.
We always, yeah. We were always nice to each other.
Is that true? I don't remember. You guys can tell me anything. I
Isn't
probably
that literally so the stuff we did here? Isn't that the era of Shut Up, Wade?
Yeah, that is
It's one
probably.
of our core jokes.
Oh, I thought you meant physically in this house. And I don't know if we were mean to each other in this house.
Yes, we were. We were
Usually-
slapping the shit out of each other.
Well, yeah, but that was for charity.
No, that wasn't. That was because we were fundraising for camera equipment.
Was that what Slapsgiving was?
Because the idea was that we felt bad raising money for us, so we
Oh.
would slap each other because it was not okay that we did that. Hopefully all of you out there can enjoy these unorthodox episodes of Distractible.
This is what it's going to be forever now.
Editors are going to have a ball with this one.
This is better than when you made it. Sorry, Mark.
That's okay. She's good at it. Well, I still want to do, and I really want to do this, where we go to Korea. I take you guys to Korea. I'm going to take you to like...
North or south?
That's actually offensive.
Is it?
Yes.
I thought it was hilarious. So did Bob. He laughed.
That's good for you.
Why don't you laugh?
I wasn't laughing at your joke. I was laughing at you.
Thank you.
Hello.
How's it going? We're recording right now, just so you know.
Uh-oh.
Come on in. No, the water's fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
Look at him. Get him. Zoom in.
As we finish up this meal, and the sun sets on this podcast, and our era of making content on the internet comes to a close. Thank you so much for being a part of this experience. I think there's no way to end this better than here, where it began. Well,
Holy crap, I've spilled so much on my shirt.
See, that's what I was worried about, man.
so any last words?
What is the deal with this? Are we like deleting our channels, or how serious is this? Because
Loser deletes their channel.
I got a good feeling about this one.
Last words, is that what you said?
For those only listening, Wade made a peace sign.
Which
and
means fade me out.
Can we have Little Lixian on the show, or is that a your channel exclusive type deal?
then, no, he goes wherever he wants. But you might,
Love
50
Little Lixian.
50 chance of getting lunky, though. That's the danger.
Well, those are our last words. We done?
From us to you, it's been a real trip, an honor and a privilege. We got merch. Get the last merch we'll ever have. Distractiblestore.com. It's ending, quote unquote. We're moving into the movie theater business.
What do we call it?
Fogo de Chao.
I thought you meant the theater. Oh.
Imagine a Brazilian steakhouse movie theater where churrasco servers are coming through, carving people meat in the theater.
You're laying face down in the massage table. Churrasco's on rail systems, laying sideways with the swords of meat hanging underneath you. They slice it off and stick it into your mouth through the massage table face hole.
What if it's like the old, like when you go to a play, there's an intermission in the movie where you eat? Because if you have everyone eat at the beginning, the theater's going to smell awful after 2 hours.
Why?
Especially if they eat like you.
You know in Cincinnati, where they have the train station where they did the movie theater for IMAX stuff? You know how it was inclined because the screen was projected up in a dome?
Yeah.
Why don't movie theaters do that where you're reclined and you're watching it up so no one has a bad view?
Yeah, everyone has good seats.
Let's just build one.
An Omnimax theater?
No, a better movie theater. Let's design
An Omna regular theater.
with Brazilian steakhouse or vegan options if you're into that.
No. I mean, we could, but I'm not.
Very not exclusive.
If you were going to eat a person, would you eat a vegan? Like
I'm not going
grass-fed?
to eat a person. That was the whole thing.
grass-fed?
We had a whole episode about this. I'm not going to
Did
do
we?
it. Yes.
Why did we do that?
Because you guys have a weird opinion about
They
it.
just invented the best marketing scheme ever. Grass-fed beef, big deal. Even more exclusive, vegan beef.
Beef.
No, beef bad. Beef
No. Vegan.
I don't want vegan. All right, when we build this ultimate movie theater, you guys are going to see that it's the greatest thing that ever existed. And when there's a Brazilian steakhouse and an unlimited salad bar,
What you really want to do is get some of the kimchi in the broth and sort of mix them with the spices mixed into the broth. That's banger.
now you're making a kimchi jjigae. Kimchi stew is very good. There is a spine stew in Korea. It sounds kind of icky because you're like, oh, a spine. It's the most delicious stew you've ever had in your life. If you
Is it bone broth?
It's basically, yeah, it's basically a spine that's been stewed forever, like the same they do with good ramen and stuff like that. But it's got kimchi in it, got rice cake, you can have ramen in it, you can you eat the meat off of the spine. It's so good. It's so good.
Of what animal?
Your mom?
You can only do it once because she's only got one spot.
No, they take the piece of tail that they removed when you had your butthole sewed
Dude,
up.
they could have it. So who wins the final episode?
Editors, make that pot come closer.
Okay. That's the editor's voice.
Do you think that Elon's gonna go to Mars someday?
Elon and the Zuck are going to go to Mars Base 3 and have an MMA fight in 0.3 Earth gravity.
Oh yeah, what happened to the MMA fight?
Someone one of them stubbed the toe. Or didn't Elon back out?
Someone stubbed a toe. I'm pretty sure Zuckerberg was ready because he's still he's still training every day.
He was so ready. Damn.
I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't want to MMA fight anyone either. But I would also never in my entire life offer to do that, knowing how I feel about fighting.
But what if you had never done MMA a day in your life and you were actually quite out of shape? Would you then volunteer to do an MMA
You
fight?
mean my life?
Or anybody's life, really.
Would I right now want to go do MMA? No.
Against Mark Zuckerberg.
No, never. I really don't like
Doesn't
billionaires. I
seem
don't want to be
fair
beat up by one.
Fighting another species like that. Lizard reflexes would just have me completely outmatched.
As much as I have grandiose opinions about the world around me, if I ever get to the point where I think I'm important enough to start, that I need to change the world, like I have to, like I have this compulsion, like I'm destined to, if I was to ever start talking like that, you'd stop me, right?
I mean, we could try.
Yeah, I think I would.
That's good, that's good.
So if like you wanted to, let's say, I don't know, buy a movie theater, we should step in and be like, dude.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this. If it wasn't clear, this is definitely the last episode. We were not joking.
I don't care, man. I got food. You guys can say whatever you want.
Oh yeah, who's the final victor?
Loser has to delete their channel and all channels.
And all other channels. Damn.
Wade, how evil are you going to be if you start your villain arc?
Pretty evil. Granted, I'm not going to have an arc because there's no more episodes.
It would be really evil if you upended our perfect ending
I could evilly upend it if you want.
and usurp it for your own purposes.
Yeah, I could be distractible.
You cool with that?
I guess.
You got to be really evil, though, man.
Can
Like-
part of your evil plot be that I don't have to delete my channel?
I could. That would be thwart Mark's thing right off the bat. So
Yeah,
maybe
that would really put a finger in his eye.
I could like hide the remote and stuff. Sure.
All right. You win.
Oh, okay, cool. I was gonna do a whole thing if I didn't, but I think I'm good now. You know what? Someone should have to delete their channel, but nose goes.
Fair.
You know what's really evil is I coined Bob in on that a long time ago that I was going to be doing a nose goes bit, so he and I were both prepared.
Yep.
All right, that's your winner speech. Bob.
Oh, it's really sad to see it all come to an end this way, but in a way, it's also really good. We're back, we're full circle. Back where we started, eating chicken and dumplings like old times, or like the one old time anyway.
Just wait for the next skit video on Not Mark's channel because he's deleting it, called The Rise of Slender Man.
We're gonna smear peanut butter all over somebody's face, and they're gonna be the king of the somethings. We'll work it out later.
Anyway, editors, this blow it all up. So we're done.